Stardate 72971.32. This is episode 3 of the Thoughts of a Stoner series. Today we're talking about family. Now, family is wonderful and amazing and awful and excruciating and all of these things and more. However, nobody ever said it would be easy. I'm lucky on my mother's side of the family. There's not a lot of, groundbreaking, continent-shifting drama. Father's side, that's a different story completely. Now, on my part, it was as much mutual misunderstandings as it was just constant bullshit and drama. And I might have been covering the mic there. And so I dipped out right after I turned 18. And it was almost 5 years before I actually started, well, for lack of a better term, dealing with this side of the family like their family. You know, it's a whole bunch of shit altogether. And I'm doing the best that I can to be on the outside and stay on the outside of it. As always, there's shit going on right now. It's been going on for a couple of years. It's basically been going on since right around when I started reconnecting with the family. And God, it's fucking hot. I love you, July 4th, but I wish you were cooler. It's as much misunderstanding on both sides as it is purposeful drama and bullshit. And I'm doing my best just to be the one that's I'm not involved with the bullshit personally. I could care less about the bullshit. It doesn't directly and personally involve me in any way, shape, or form outside of the fact of having familial relations. And it's not exactly something that I belong in the middle of. You know, it's I can hear it from everybody. You know, but I know that whoever's telling it to me, even if they're doing their best to tell it as honestly and upfront as possible, I still have no way of knowing that that's the 100% truth without any emotive alterations or this or that to it. Now, again, I'm not saying that any of them are lying. I just know that I'm not getting the whole truth or the whole story, and I'm not about to sit down with everybody involved and get their side of the story, because that's not my place. like, because of the fact that they're family, I'm always going to be here for them. They need to talk, I'm here. They need to vent, I'm here. They want to do something, if I'm not busy with, like, work, then hell yeah. If I can get out of work, hell yeah. It's like fucking, it's just, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. Like, I'm turning 25 in a couple of months. I'd spent so long growing up sitting on anger and resentment and anguish and hate that, number one, now that I'm actually doing better and being better and not 100%, like 98% of the time pissed off or depressed, I'm figuring out how to be this new me. I'm figuring out how to do life when you're happy. And it's quite a stark contrast. Like, you'll always see self-deprecating and dark humor from me just because, number one, that's what I love to begin with, and number two, that's just where just a lot of my humor and charm lies. You know, I don't really think that highly of myself, but at the same time, I'm there for no matter what. And I'm there for the long haul, which is again why I don't care to get involved with the bullshit that doesn't involve me. It's not worth it to hold on to. It's not worth it for me to destroy what's left of my heart and soul by holding on to anger and resentment. And granted, there's a lot that I've blocked out from my youth. There's a lot that I choose to ignore for the sake of the greater good. For the sake of, because that's my mom, or that's my dad, or that's my ex. It's worth it to stay there and be there. It's not worth it to be having problems. At the end of the day, it's really not, because they're still your blood. And while blood might always be family, that doesn't change the way that I look at it. Whether you're a friend of mine, or somebody who's actually related in one way or another, if I call you family, you're family. Meaning, I will go to the ends of the earth just because you hinted at it. If I'm actually able to. Now, like, granted, I'm really not good at getting back to a lot of people. That's just a fact of how I am. You know, I'm much more focused in the moment, and the worst of it is when I'm at work, or when I'm waking up and somebody hits me up, and it's like, alright, let me go to the bathroom and get my coffee, and I'll get back to them. Or I'll get back to them once I get on a break, and then I forget, because shit happens. And because there might be there's definitely some losing sobriety somewhere in there. But, it's It's really just not worth it. Like, sitting here and always fighting, always having issues, what's that doing? Like, at the end of the day, what's that really doing? That's just harming everybody involved. And you're doing the worst of it to yourself with that. You know, like, the best you can do in a lot of situations, especially if you're trying to keep what happened with me, where I didn't talk to an entire side of my family outside of necessity for almost 5 years, and it took almost 5 years to really start opening that door again. Like, where would I be then if I didn't decide to do that? If I didn't decide to start putting it all behind me? I would be lost to an entire half of my bloodline. You know, like, is it worth it in the moment, thinking, even if you think that this is the best way to handle it and this is what needs to be done, is it worth it to be fighting and causing problems? No. Like, it's, like I said, I'm about to be 25. I can't afford to have what's left of my heart and soul destroyed because I'm pissed off at X for Y, when Y might not have involved me in the first place. I don't know. I guess it's part of actually growing up. You know, it's a part of realizing what you want and who you want to be. And I don't want to be the guy that everyone loathes to be around, even if they're happy to my face. You know, especially because I'm observant enough to pick up on actual cues more often than not. And by that I mean, I can tell well enough when somebody's actually giving me an attitude. I can tell well enough when somebody's actually getting shitty with me. But I can also tell the difference between somebody getting, like, I can tell the difference between somebody getting shitty with me and getting an attitude with me, and somebody who just has an attitude already and is already shitty. And then what can I do there? I can address it like a dick, I can address it calmly, or I can ignore it. And being a dick about it is almost never the right thing to do. Especially if what your end goal is not problems, and it's opening the door again, like what did happen with me. If you want to keep that door open, if you want to keep that relationship having any sort of, any sort of semblance of what it was, then the best thing to do is just put that behind you. As much as it might suck to say, the literal best thing you can do in that situation is, alright, I'm taking a step back, I'm here if you need me, and let them reach out to you. I'm not saying to act as if you've dropped them, but if you're asking or offering something every day, and they tell you no every day, you can take that as, and you probably would, take that as they don't want to spend time with you, or they don't want to do X with you, or they don't want to be involved with you. But look at it from their side. You're constantly pestering them. You're making it seem to them like they don't have, like they can't have a life outside of you, that they can't have a life that doesn't involve you. If you offer something to somebody to do something, or to go out and do something 30 times, and they tell you no 30 times, it would probably be better to stop asking about it. Or at least stop for a while. And try to feel out where everything is at that point. You know, like, I'm not pushy at all when it comes to shit. Like, if there's something that I actually need done, will I push? Yeah. But it's only if I was given my word that they could do it, or that they would do it for me. Keeping your word is a completely different thing. However, that's why I've taken the step back, and I'm still their brother, their nephew, their cousin, their son, whatever it is. And like I said, being here to help with you dealing with the problem, to help you figure it out and you deal with it, awesome, great. I'll do that. But especially when I'm seeing both sides at the same time, you can't act like I'm brand new to the subject, or I'm brand new to the family. You know, I know how the family dynamics work. Like, it is what it is, man. Family is family. Sometimes you get lucky and you have it easy. Sometimes you get lucky and it's a hell of a time. All sarcasm intended on the second one. But either way, they're family. And you can choose to let yourself get bogged down by the bullshit and drama, or you can be the bigger person and take the step back and say, alright, I'm done with this. I'm here for you if you need me, and leave it at that. Hope that helped.